I'm Sydney.
I'm Bree.
And I'm Makaela.
And today we're going to be discussing smoking and pregnancy.
Our case study features Rebecca Lynn, a young woman who's pregnant for the first time and she's 20 weeks along. During the pregnancy, she's been attending her doctor's appointments regularly, taking her prenatal vitamins and eating healthy, but there's one habit that she can't seem to kick, and that's smoking cigarettes. She has been presented with all of the risks of smoking while pregnant, and she's well aware, but when she's out and around her family and friends, they also smoke, so she can't seem to quit. She knows that the smoking will harm her baby, and she feels that it's impossible to quit because of her family and friends. She's already halfway through, and she has recently told her doctor that by quitting cigarettes, she feels that it will harm the baby more with withdrawal symptoms than to continue smoking throughout the pregnancy. And she has also been advocating that she is the person with the final say, since it is her body and her baby.
Looking at this case, it is clear to see that the patient is in denial that anything could go wrong with her pregnancy. The medical professionals have given her all the consequences that could happen with her choices. At first, she seems to agree with the doctor that she must quit, but later decides that it is her body, and therefore it is her choice whether she quits or not. The addiction is preventing her from quitting smoking, and therefore putting her baby and herself at risk. She has become addicted to smoking and now cannot see her life without it. She mentions to the doctor that the people around her all smoke, so it'll be impossible for her to quit. From this study, we can see that Rebecca is unwilling to listen to the doctor's advice. The doctor did his job by warning her that what can happen to her and her body, and advising her that the best option is to quit. In this situation, the patient is in the wrong, clearly not wanting to quit and making poor choices. Ultimately, what seems like a simple decision to Rebecca right now may turn into serious and more complex decisions down the road regarding her baby and herself.
So at this point, Rebecca is aware of the risks of smoking while pregnant. She's aware of the preterm birth, stillbirth, heart defects, and sudden infant death syndrome, and cleft lip or cleft palate that could affect her newborn infant. And research shows that 10 to 20% of women smoke while pregnant, and over 1,000 infants die every year due to maternal smoking. She could also find out that 100,000 infants have died in the last 50 years due to maternal smoking, and 122 million is spent per year on neonatal healthcare costs that is attributed to this growing problem. So one of Rebecca's main excuses when it comes to not stopping smoking is that it seems impossible. She says that her family and friends smoke around her, so it makes it difficult for her to stop smoking. Another reason is she's already halfway through the pregnancy, so she thinks that quitting would be more harmful than helpful for her infant baby. And this just simply isn't true. So the reality is that nothing is impossible. So it's never too late to quit smoking. Whether she's halfway through the pregnancy or not, nothing as far as withdrawal symptoms would be worse than the chemicals she's putting in her body every time she smokes, like nicotine, lead, and carbon dioxide. So this photo here to the right is a diagram of what happens when a smoker quits. So not all of this information is important, but obviously, as you can see, things get better for your body over time. So it starts 20 minutes after quitting, and it spans to 15 years after quitting. So quitting is definitely important for the health and safety of her and her new child.
Some solutions that Rebecca's physician could give to her to quit smoking cigarettes would be to chew gum instead, because it's known that people who smoke cigarettes have an oral fixation, so chewing gum could give them a different oral fixation. She could find a different way to relieve stress, such as yoga or exercising or coloring. She could make a pledge with her family and friends to quit smoking, not only to benefit the health of herself and her baby, but of those around her. She could also attend a rehabilitation facility or do a cessation program for the cigarette smoking. And this is our reference slide, and now we're going to play a Kahoot.
Okay, so right now we're going to do a quick Kahoot. So we're going to test your knowledge on what we just presented on. So we're going to log in really quickly, and once we get that started, we can start the questions.
One that knows for you.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
So the first question is, what is a risk of smoking while pregnant? Is it stillbirth, heart defects, the mother being tired, or cleft palate?
The correct answer is actually 3 of the 4. Stillbirth, heart defects, and cleft palate. There was about 4 or 5 given on the slides, and these are 3 of them.
The next question is, what can Rebecca do to quit smoking? Nicotine gum, rehabilitation facility, nothing, or sleep? So the correct answer would be a rehabilitation facility. Also nicotine gum, but obviously a rehabilitation facility is more beneficial for both mom and baby, as nicotine is still very harmful for ungrown fetuses. So the next question is, who is in the wrong in this situation? Is it Rebecca's physician or is it Rebecca? So the correct answer is Rebecca. Because her physician explained all of the risks to her smoking while pregnant, it is now up to her to make the decision to better the lives of her and her child. So the next question is, what is one of Rebecca's main excuses for going against her doctor's order to quit? Is it that she doesn't care about the child? Is it that she is forced to smoke? Or is it her body or her choice? So obviously you can see the answer is that Rebecca's reason, her main excuse to not quit, is that it's her body, and at the end of the day, she has the final say in what happens with it. So the last question is, Rebecca was provided with all possible risks and consequences in this situation. True or false? The correct answer is true. She was provided with all possible risks and consequences in this situation by her healthcare provider. So this was Pregnancy and Smoking. My name is Bree.
My name is Sydney.
And my name is Makaela.
And thank you for watching.